right, let's get into the time I had two girlfriends. Yes, bitch, you heard me right. Two of them. Baby, okay, first of all, disclaimer. I was young, you feel me? Just exploring, figuring out who I was. And I do not regret anything that I have done because it made me a better woman. I learned from it, period. Boom. Judge your mama. This story could
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just a Girl Show. My name is Janine. If you are new here, if you're new, of course, hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you never miss an episode. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back to the channel. So I talk a lot about families and the importance of family and man and woman being together, right? Everyone is entitled to do whatever they want to do and live their lives however they want to live them. But my content is centered around man and woman being together and creating children, healthy children, and a healthy household, the best household possible for that child, and wanting children to grow up and man marries woman, woman marries man. That is what my content is centered around. But I'm also very aware that is not the agenda that is being pushed on our children, on our people. It's not at all. These people out here, but more importantly, there are women. Our voices as women are so loud, and some women be saying the dumbest stuff out their mouths, and it just be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Especially when it comes to dating. The dating conversations, what makes men gay, what makes men sassy, what is a red flag. It's just like, what are we talking about? At this point, right is wrong and wrong is right. Like, I'm so blown away every day about what these women define as how a man should be. And if a man does this, they got you thinking that he's gay. They got you thinking that you should be gay. They got you thinking like, and what are our girls supposed to grow up and believe? What are our boys supposed to grow up and believe? Because there's so much programming. I'll never forget the video of the woman who said that if a man drinks tea, he's gay. That's a red flag. What? He can't drink tea? Like, but let me drop this clip for y'all. And we got to come back. We got to talk about this because this is a red flag for me. Okay. So let's drop it and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Okay. What's my biggest dating red flag? Is it being on the DL? You're on the right track. I have my answer. Okay. This is a huge red flag for me. All right. You know what's so crazy? I was gonna say men. I was gonna say men. No, I mean, strike one. You're a man. Yeah. And you're heterosexual. Yeah. I was gonna say, so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing.
So Doechii, y'all, I am very, very new to her. I know that she has just been thrown in our face like ain't nobody's business. And the programming is very real. And I think that this is what people have been talking about for years. And we're really starting to see it, that when they want to make us hear it nonstop, consume it nonstop, they will put it in front of our faces, on the TV, on our phones, on the radio. And Doechii is, hey, kudos to her. But the fact that we have these type of people who kids are watching, and I don't want to hear nobody saying, well, your kids shouldn't look up the people, they shouldn't watch these people. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. We all watch TV. We all saw stuff that we were influenced by, that we wanted to be like that person or we didn't want to be. But to say that a man who is straight, a heterosexual man, is a red flag, what does that say? What is the... So that makes other women, I'm thinking about young girls, that makes them believe that if he's heterosexual, something wrong with him, because you should be dealing with a man who's bisexual. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. And because you date maybe bisexual men or homosexual men, again, whatever you want to do, that is your choice. It does not matter to me. What matters to me is when they put these people in front of us and they say these, because why do they have, my thing is, it's so calculated, y'all. It is so calculated that it could have been any other thing to be said, but now it has everybody wondering and thinking and interesting. So should I be thinking about that, or should I be like, you know what I'm saying? Well, if he's not into stuff, is he weird? Or if you're not into just being free and being open to try everything, people may look at you funny. So there's an agenda being pushed for young women to view men a certain way, and I also believe that there's an agenda to make young boys think that they should move that way, to be more seen by women, to be more fluent, to be more accepted. Like, they don't want us to be with a man and a woman be together. They don't want that, y'all. They don't want the traditional love. They don't want it. They don't want it. And it's so unfortunate because it's so loud. And if you say, I am an advocate for this and not that, does not mean it's hate speech. It doesn't mean that I am someone who dislikes a certain group of people, but this is what I advocate for. I advocate for man and woman to be together. I've said that on my platform plenty of times. My content is not geared toward women who date women. If you date women, cool, sis, do your thing. But you're going to probably not resonate with my content because I'm talking about men and women being together. So if you're not interacting with the man on your everyday basis in the dating world, this stuff doesn't apply to you. So remove yourself, right? I don't go into spaces that are not of heterosexual relationships because that's not what I focus on. That's not, what I advocate for. So I remove myself. I wouldn't involve myself. But like I said, there's so much put on men in today's society, another way to just knock them down. And I feel like have men questioning how they should move. Why? It's just like, why? What do I don't, that's why it's God is no longer of importance in many of in this world. God is the furthest thing from these people's minds. Like, they say one thing, they do another. They say one thing, they do another. They say one thing, but then they want to throw religion at you. But I'm looking at you like, well, what are you talking about? Look at what you're advocating for. Look at what you're supporting. But then you say this. You understand what I'm saying? And it's one of the things where, everyone's aware of Candace Owens and her stance on, children being influenced to do certain things with their bodies and how they identify. Like, that's all programming. Like, their kids are being programmed to think this stuff, to think this way.
We used to just smoke cigarettes, right? In the 80s, they were just smoking cigarettes. Now, to be adolescents and to rebel, they're changing their genders. They're like, oh, I don't want to be like my mom, and so I'm non-binary. I'm not bound by gender. No, this is who I am. You have that's normal. You're gonna, that. They don't, because their brains are not developed. So this is who I am. I'm gonna tell my parents, I'm like, oh man, can we just go back? I know in the 90s, the campaign, we stomped out cigarettes. Maybe we should bring them back so kids are experimenting with like tobacco and not experimenting with their genitals.
Like, crazy, right? Crazy. And I think people don't want to accept that programming is real. Just like you were programmed to as a young boy living in the hood to sell drugs, as a young girl living in the hood to sleep around or have babies. Like, it's the programming. It's been there. So we can be programmed to do those things. Why can't we be programmed to think that we're supposed to be with men be with men and women be with women? It's programming. I'm not going to say that is the end all be all of it, but I do believe that programming and influence and pushing it all in front of our faces to make people question if the way that they're living is right or want to live is right when everybody else is doing it that way. So if I go out here and I'm a woman trying to date and I'm vetting men and I like somebody like Dolce and I think she's the bomb or whatever the case may be, and she tells me that that's a red flag, I'm looking at her like, okay, well, so you only date men? What's up with you? Like, you know what I'm like? That's wild. That is wild to even just think. Like, you know, like when I say I pray for our children, I pray for the younger generations that are going to keep coming up in this craziness. I pray for them because y'all, I don't know what it's going to look like for our babies in the next even 10 years. 10 years. If it keep going in the way that they're going and how they push these people on us, it's going to be crazy. And we're going to have to lean heavily for those who are believers in God. We're going to have to lean heavily and pray and like hit the floor and pray religiously for our community, for the generations to come, because they have an agenda. They have an agenda, point blank, period. And if you are obtuse and you want to be naive and you want to pretend like you don't, especially if you're a parent, you want to act like you don't know, if you don't want to believe what's happening, you will lose control of your child if you do not teach your children, the way that you believe is the way to live. Teach them to make their own choices. Teach them to really understand what they're doing, what they're saying, just being a free thinker in the midst of being programmed, because again, it's bad. It's scary. When I saw that, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's because you saw the girl, she said her first guest was a DL man. They don't want you to be DL, which I get. I understand. They rather I know what you're doing, so I can, decide what I want to do. But the fact of the matter is that you said a red flag is a straight man. If he's straight, I can't mess with him. I can't. I'm looking at you like, so what about the red flags? Like the true red flags. If he's honest, if he's a noble person, does he have morals? Does he know how to respect women? How he treats his mother? If he has kids, how he treats his kids? How does he talk about the mother of his child? How does he, how does he interact with other people? Does everybody in his life have something bad to say about him? What about those red flags? No, if he just says I'm a straight man, nope, can't deal with you. A straight man who drink tea, baby, what? This is sad. This is sad, y'all, and I really, 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 really pray that we can at some point come back on home where we belong. Yeah. But let me know in the comments what you guys think of this conversation. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, your opinions. And yeah, if you like this episode, hit that thumbs up button, of course, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to see you guys in the next episode. Bye.